So I don't have a table because I live with men who are really bad at putting things away, organizing, or just putting things back where they found them. So I went to go look for some tables that I knew that I had put in a certain spot, and of course they weren't there because men. And that's just that's what we've come to expect of men nowadays. They just don't want to put in even the bare minimum. And if you're a man and you're offended by this, then you're one of those men. Yeah, if you're offended by something that somebody says, obviously it applies to you. And I hang around a lot of men that realize how downhill the male species has gone in general. So if I already have this feeling like if a man does get offended, then he knows that he's shit. A lot of men are not like that. I know there's a lot of great men out there. I promise you that I'm not delusional. I've been hurt, clearly. Have you ever been so attractive that nobody wants to comprehend, nobody wants to believe that you suffer? Now, I'm not trying to say that I'm the most attractive person in the world either, obviously not. I mean, Billie Eilish and Miley Cyrus exist, and Doechii, and like Megan Thee Stallion. Like, hello, I'm not the most attractive woman in the world, right? But I have the type of confidence that sometimes I'll take a video of myself or a picture of myself, and if my eyebrow is messed up, I'm like, I can't post this. Like, I look horrendous. And then other times, I'm hesitant to follow certain celebrities, namely male celebrities, on social media because I'm afraid that they will notice that I follow them and follow me back or like try to bother me in some way. That's the kind of confidence that I have, that I refuse to follow some rappers and like musicians because I'm convinced that they're going to fall in love with me and I'm not emotionally stable enough. So yeah, those are my two vibes, my two states of being. But if there's anything I've learned in life, it's when forces outside of your control are trying to prevent you from succeeding, take matters into your own hands. So now instead of a table, I have a chair and the camera's propped on that. So I fixed the problem. And that's what you gotta do, and especially when you have difficult people in your life. And if you have a supportive family, if you have a mother or father that you like talking to, I envy you. I commend you. That's amazing. I am almost completely alone in the world, other than the connections that I've made. Basically, my own chosen family. But we have like the same kind of bond as with like real family, where you don't really have to keep up with them every single day, every week, or even every month. Like you can talk to them a few months, or in rare cases or extreme cases, a few years in between. So some friends can honestly be more reliable than family, and they will abandon you less. So like somehow I have family that has abandoned me over less than what I've done to other people, and those people have tried to forgive me and come back into my life. And it always happens when something dramatic happens in a situation with somebody, and you think, wow, I just lost a friend. Like, that kind of sucks. Then you get to thinking, like, life is probably better off this way. And then they try coming back into your life a few months or maybe a few years later. And you realize that they're the ones that needed you all along, and you never needed them. But it's interesting how, like, even I beat myself up over, you know, situations with other people where maybe I didn't do the right thing. But honestly, I give myself a lot of grace and a lot of empathy just because of how I grew up. Most people have no idea half of what I've been through, that I don't really even talk about because it's embarrassing or it's really traumatic. But I don't even care to stir up the memories about it. So it's interesting, like people will think that they know your full story or all of your stories, and they'll compare you to other people, or compare your stories to other people, which is fine, but don't like ever discredit somebody for how they're feeling just because you have somebody else who maybe has been through something similar but doesn't feel that same way. It's really important to understand that different people have different emotional capacities, and a lot of people just don't have the life skills to deal with most things. I feel like some people credit their parents way too much when in reality we usually are the ones that raise ourselves, especially if you have parents that just don't want to listen, think they always know better, and disguise control as concern. But yeah, I find people overall to be quite disappointing because we tend to look at people through the lens of who we want them to be for us. Sometimes we assign personalities to people that they don't even really have. Or it's just our brain thinking up a version of them that doesn't really exist. Some people just don't have the brain power that you do and just think completely differently and aren't on the level that you think. And I don't think it's anything inherently wrong with the humans in general. It's just, I guess, of lack of motivation for growth, lack of self-expression, self-improvement, lack of introspection. I love being introspective and looking in on myself and trying to understand myself. And I don't always need people to confirm or deny what I'm thinking, because most of the time they'll probably be wrong. However, you're feeling won't connect with whatever they are thinking. Do you feel invalidated by whatever their remarks are to what you say to them? I think it's just an inherent part of being human. But at the same time, because of this, I genuinely struggle forming connections and maintaining them, especially as people's mindsets change with whoever they hang out with and they turn into whoever they surround themselves with. And I feel like I've grown out of that phase, genuinely. But at the same time, I don't surround myself with many people in general. Like, people are just around. They're not always there for me. They're usually not. I don't let a lot of people in. If you can relate, if you understand, or even if you want to debate, go ahead and comment below. Yeah, I'm just excited to find a community of people that are like-minded.